Hi everyone, it's Roseanne Ludick from Kira Health again, your National Listing Manager. And in this video I'd like to show those of you who have been selected to be part of our Netcells project how to do the packaging and preparation of your client. The drawing of the sample is not the problem. You guys do this on a daily basis and you know how to do it. But the what do I do with the paperwork, how do I package it, where do I send it to, what do I do with it, what are the rules? That's what I'd like to show you in this video. So you will receive your client from our office in Pretoria, and these are clients who are pregnant, normally in the first trimester or going on into the second trimester of their pregnancy. And the blood that is drawn is sent to a laboratory in California. Apparently there's none in South Africa that can do these tests, to do testing for possible DNA abnormalities, so that mommies and daddies can make decisions about their baby and if they'd like to continue, if there are possible abnormalities with the baby. So these are, in the first place, very emotional tests that are done. Very often it's mommies and daddies that are in their first pregnancy, so it makes it more emotional. And because they are sent to California, they are obviously extremely expensive tests. On average, they cost about 8,500 Rand. Most medical aids pay for them. This is just background info for you, so that you understand how important these tests really are. These are not average HIV or glucose tests that are done in South Africa in laboratories. These are really emotional, on various levels, tests which you, who's watching this video, have been specifically selected to do for us. Not all our nurses are doing the Netcells project for us at this point in time. We have really handpicked a few of you, so congratulations, you're one of those handpicked nurses in doing this. So I'd like to take you through the paperwork and just explain to you what it is that's important and how it works. Now, the appointment will come to you through the normal channels, and you will receive a form that has a lot of information on like that. Now, I have, for obvious reasons, scratched out the very personal information on this one, because this is a form that belonged to a mommy who we saw recently. So on this form, you'll have things like who is the doctor, who is the mommy, how many weeks pregnant is she, what's her contact details, and this is the form that is sent from the doctor to the Netcells office. They then send it to us as part of booking the process, and to make sure that you get all the information when you see the client, we send this form on to you, and it's called the Test Requisition Form, or the TRF form. Now that's, again, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. On this form it just says requisition form, but normally it's spoken about a test requisition form. So you can see what all is on this form very quickly over here. Obviously, like I said, the black marks is covering very personal information. Now, you will get this form together with a form that the office will complete for you that looks like this. And it's a form that we've designed because, yes, again, Kira is a first. We were given this project to do with no background. Just go and see the mommy and draw the blood, and this is what you must do. So we've had to sit down and be creative and do the paperwork behind it. So we've called this form the Tri-Screen NIPT, don't worry about that, screening appointment sheet. And it's really just so that the office here, in making the appointments, has all the necessary paperwork and information in place for not only for you to be able to go and see the client, but also for recording purposes, and who did they speak to and who did they arrange with. You'll see things on this form like, for example, the sample courier information, because we will arrange the couriers to collect the sample from you somewhere along the line. That will be communicated to you in booking the client. So on this form there's the patient information, there's the appointment information, where, when, what time, and then the sample courier collection information, who's the courier. We normally use FedEx in this circumstance. What's the date of time, what's the date of collection, the time of collection, what's the physical nurse, will they collect it from, what's the physical address, sorry, will they collect it from the nurse or will they collect it from the doctor's rooms, and then the signature of the courier space, who's collecting this. Now this is very important, please, when the couriers are collecting these samples from you, It has unfortunately happened on 1 or 2 occasions that there's no paperwork, and as we've learned hard lessons in nursing, if it's not on writing, it hasn't happened. So if no one has signed for collection of this parcel at the end of your process, nobody's taken the parcel. And if the parcel has gone missing, we need to track it, so we've got no one and nowhere to track it with. And you can imagine the emotional and critical decisions behind that. So please, when you look at this form, in the section that says courier packaging, you'll see there's a section that says right down here by my pen, courier signature and the reference number. Okay, it's please very important that when your clients or when your couriers collect these parcels from you folks, you get them to sign their reference numbers, please. It's very, very important. All right, the last little block down the bottom is just who has arranged this case. We have at this point in time 2 persons in the call center, Kyle and Felicia, who are involved with this, so that we know again where to track it, who to talk to, who's handled the case, who's done the questioning, who's done the checks and balances, and then signatures and so on. Any comments that are there as well that you need to take note of, or that they in the office need to take note of in following up this as there. So when you receive your appointment, or your Netcells appointment, you will get 2 forms, just to go through them quickly again. One that has our in-house information on, who's the client, where you're going to see the client, what is all the details behind the courier services, and then down the bottom, who is it that arranged this client, who spoke to the client, who made the appointments, and everything like that. And then the other one, which is called the test requisition form, or on this one, the requisition form, but it's shortly known as the TRF form. This is the form that comes from the doctor with all the client information on how many weeks is they pregnant. The doctor has also signed this form with the client or the pregnant mommy in discussing it and getting his or her permission to do the tests and do the bloods and so on and so forth. So those are the 2 forms that you will take with you then, please, to your appointment when you go and see the mommy. Now the other thing that you will take with you when you go and see the mommy is a box, and I'm going to tilt this so that you can see a box that has everything in. It is a box, it's called an Illumina box, it's not important, but inside this box is absolutely everything that you will need for this blood draw. You'll see in the very top here there's a pink sticker, and the pink sticker says sample tube must be labeled with 2 unique patient identifiers. Now the patient identifiers is the patient's name or initials and surname, and then their date of birth. This is very important, please guys. Out of habit, we fill in the ID number. It is incredibly important that you folks remember that this case is the date of birth. But that date of birth must be recorded month, day, year, in that very specific order. The month of birth, for example, February the 26th, 1998. So it's the date of birth, month, day, year on the vial with the initials and surname of the mommy. And that's what they talk about where they say 2 unique patient identifiers. Please don't put the ID number on. The Americans write dates differently to what we do, and they don't understand our ID number. So we in the beginning thought that they would know what the ID number is, that it stood for the date of birth, but they don't. They got very confused and it caused total chaos. So the next things that you will find in this box is all the stuff that you will need for your blood draw. So inside will be the Weibull, a pack of papers that's already duplicated and triplicated, and I'll take you through them just now, and that is what stands on the letter that goes up top. So if you can see there, it says very clearly which are the forms that you need to do something with in red and what it is. For example, I'll read this to you. It's the first little sentence says, fold and insert the original test requisition form into the sleeve on the back of the biohazard bag and place inside the box. I'll go through that now with you so that you know what it is. Please ensure that the attached documentation is completed as per the following instructions. 3 times commercial invoices, and in red it says what you must do. Curo nurse must fill in the Weibull number and the date shipped. 1 times export permit, and because there's nothing written there, you need do nothing with the export permit. 3 declaration of biological shipments, again nurse must fill in the Weibull number. 1 times FDA prior notice, again Curo nurse to fill in the Weibull number and date shipped. The FedEx Airway bill, again it says Curo nurse to fill in the date. So you can see that they pretty much tell you very simply what it is that you need to do. Right. Now when you look at this paperwork, you'll see that everything is there firstly, and it's pre-populated. We've put in as much information as possible for you, so you don't need to write and tick any of the boxes. It's really just the Weibull numbers and the dates that need to be filled in. The same with the Weibull that they have included in each box. Everything that needs to be recorded has already been recorded. So you don't need to write anything on the Weibull number except the date, and I'll go through that with you now. So to go again, when you open your box, the first thing you see is your pink sticker telling you 2 unique patient identifiers. Again, that's your patient's initials and surname, date of birth, starting with a month, date, and year. Then inside you'll get your Weibull pamphlets for FedEx already filled in. You'll get your package of paperwork, and it really has everything with it. You will also get your Weibull shipment bag that you will put your parcel into once you're finished. And then you will get your lab bag or your biohazardous bag, and inside it is 1 vial that looks like that, and 1 or 2 little pieces of absorbent paper. Please don't throw these little pieces of absorbent paper away or take them out. They must remain inside the bag because these samples get shipped, like I said, to California. So should this bag break or should there be condensation, it will help with it inside that little bag. Now, if you look at this tube, you'll see that it's a very specific tube. Its top is very different to any of those that you have worked with. So please do not take these tops out of these boxes and put them in your kit. Please do not use any other tops if these run out or you haven't got, or you need to draw a second tube because you missed the vein. These are very, very specific tubes for this. They're called Strick tubes, DNA testing. I don't know if you can see it on there. Okay, so these will come in every box with every client separately. We have asked them to give us 1 or 2 extras of these tubes so that you can keep them with you should you miss your vein drawing your blood for your mommy. Sometimes pregnant mommies don't have the best veins. So on the odd occasion when you will need to do a blood draw with a second vial, then please use the extras that we have given you for these. Do not use a yellow top or any other of the phlebotomy tubes that we use. Only these tubes. Okay, so your process will be when you get to your mommy with your forms that you've been sent with your appointment, that one and that one, you've arrived at the mommy's home or place of work, wherever the appointment has been set up, and you've greeted, you've introduced yourself, you're on time, you're neatly professionally dressed. The first thing that you should please ask the mommy is for her identification document, whether that be a driver's license or an ID book, and then her lab form or her request form that the doctor gave her. And it will be a form like that but it will be the original. Remember, what you're getting is the scanned and emailed version. So you need to get the original request form from the mommy when you get to the place where your appointment is going to be. You will then sit the mommy down comfortably wherever you're going to draw her blood. You will draw your vial of blood into that tube, and only that tube. It is important, please, too, to note that this tube must have at least 7 to 10 milliliters of blood in. It must be fairly full. It will stop drawing when it has enough. Please don't get just a little drop and think, ah, that's enough, it should do. They must have 7 to 10 milliliters of blood. Once you have drawn your tube and you've got your site of venipuncture sorted out, gently tip this tube 7 or 8 times. My apologies. So you will take this tube and you will gently tip it 7 to 10 times so that the blood mixes nicely with the little bits of fluid, I don't know if you can see them, that's in this tube. Please don't take this thing and do this with it. It's a gentle tip 7 or 10 times. Okay? Once you've done that and your mommy's bleeding site is nicely stabilized, put it down. Now what you are going to do is you're going to take your requisition form that you're going to do, or your resulting form that you're going to do your resulting on. And this is what it looks like. It's again a form which we've designed, and it's very much in the format of our rapid result forms. So it looks like that. Again, it has place for the mommy's details. You'll see there it has a place for the identification document. And then at the bottom there's a space for the sample, Weibull number, and your signatures. Okay? Right, so what you will do is you will now take this form and you will put it down. The ID number or ID card that your mommy has given you, you will put in this space. We've made it nice and big enough so that your ID book or passport can fit in there as well. When you've got your blood vial, on your vial you'll see there's 2 stripes. And remember when we started, we said 2 unique patient identifiers. So on the one line you're going to write the mommy's initials and surname, and on the second line you're going to write the mommy's date of birth, month, day, year. Then you're going to take your vial and you're going to put it on this space. To move the camera a little bit closer so that you can see nicely, where it says place, there it says place sample vial in the space so that the client information is visible. So when you put your form down, you will have your ID document there. You'll have all mommy's details filled in there. You'll have your name and details filled in there. And in this space, you will have your blood sample vial. I suggest you guys carry a little dab of press stick with you, because this vial must be placed there so that the ID, the name and date of birth which you've recorded is clearly visible. Please don't put it so that it's down like that or we can't read it. We want it up because we must see the client's name and date of birth on this tube. Okay, so you'll put it down there, and then you'll take your Weibull that's in your box, and on 2 places you will find the Weibull numbers. Firstly, there's 4 little stickers down the side of it. Secondly, on the bottom of this yellow side, there's the same number is recorded there. So write this number into the space next to the vial where it says parcel FedEx tracking number. That's your Weibull number. All right? next to it there it says parcel FedEx Weibull tracking number. So you'll write your Weibull number into that space. Then you will take your cell phone, open your camera or your tablet if that is what you were using. Again, the same rules apply. From directly above, in good light, with no shadows and shakes, making sure that you have the whole form in picture. Take a photo of your form. Okay, and what you should have is a nice clear photograph. Again, this one's full of black points because it obviously has client information on. That looks like that. Now this one's in black and white so you can't see it so nicely, but you'll see that the mommy's details is all filled in over there. Her ID document is on the document. The nurse's details are on the document. And the vial of blood is on the document with the name and date of birth showing upward, obviously blanked out here, and the Weibull number recorded in there. Your mommy has signed at the bottom because again, they need consent. So everything is recorded on this form. Your photograph you will then attach to an email. And in the subject of your email line, please put the first words Netcells, Netcells, and then you can put the mommy's name in. Please make sure you put the word Netcells in first because the feedback box is very big, and because these parcels need to be tracked and processed immediately, we need to find them quickly. When you just send them to the feedback at Kira Health, they get lost in the huge big inbox of feedback. So to go search and look for them in that big inbox takes time and they get lost. So please make sure in the subject line of your email you have the first words Netcells and then the mommy's initials and surnames, and then attach your photograph as you've taken it now, making sure that everything is nicely filled in. Again, the old mantra, there's a block or a space for a reason, it wants information. Make sure that your tube is clearly visible when you open your photo, that you can see the initials and date of birth, month, day, year on your tube, that the FedEx number is written in, that the mommy is signed, and send your email to them immediately, please. What you also need to photograph, but on a separate photo, please, is the form, the request form, the original request form that the mommy gave you, not the one that you received with your appointment when it was sent to you. The one that the mommy gave you when you reached your place of appointment. You will take that form, and on your form, and I've highlighted it in pink over here so you can see it, is a little space that says date of draw. You must put the date, obviously the day that you're drawing the bloods, in there. But again, please, the date must be recorded month, day, year. So in other words, if you were drawing the bloods today, your date would read 02 because it's February, 26 because it's the 26th day, 2016, the year 2016. And it says it very clearly too, if you can see it carefully there, it says MM/DD/YYY. Okay, please make sure you write it in there, not somewhere else on the form. They want it there. All right. Okay, then that's your paperwork done. You can then put those paperworks neatly together. Your request form that your mommy has given you, on which she has signed, and you've got the date of birth in, you will fold with the mommy's name, and that's normally down the bottom there in that bottom corner. Mommy's name out. Doesn't really matter, it just makes it a bit easier. Now take your vial of blood that you've drawn, all right? Put it into the Ziploc side with your 2 pieces of paper. Ziploc your bag carefully, get all the air out if need be, and put your little lab form into the outside little pouch. There's a little pouch on the outside of the bag so that it doesn't, if the vial does mess, that it doesn't get full of blood. So your package is now ready for sending. It is not necessary to put ice in these bags. It's not necessary to do anything with them other than that. Please, that's all you need. Now you will take this package with your sample and your lab form in and put it inside this box. Then you can close this box and go back to the paperwork. Now when you look at this paperwork, you'll see that firstly there's quite a bit of it. And I'm going to go through it with you now so that you can see it nicely. Again, as I said just now, everything is explained to you nicely on the front little letter. You can tear this little letter off and keep it with you. It is not necessary that it goes with in the package. This is just so that you know what to do. So take this thing off, it doesn't need to go with. Now when you look at this, you'll see the first one says commercial invoice, 3 copies. And if you look here, there's 1, 2, 3. So they're already duplicated and triplicated. You do not need to make photostat copies of anything. It's done. On this form, you'll see there's a gray space, and it's highlighted like it is here, where it says airway bill number. That's your way bill number. This number that we got on this form. The one down the bottom, or the one on the side here on your stickers. You can use at least 3 of these stickers on the side here, but we want you to leave at least 1 on here because the FedEx guys, the courier guys, need 1 of these stickers at least in their sending and packaging things. So if you want to use at least 2 or 3 of these stickers, then you may do so. So all you will do then is peel that sticker off. You see it comes off, okay? And then all you do is stick it in that spot. And I'm not physically going to do it now, but you get the idea. There, you'll stick it in that spot. If you are just going to write them in, then please make sure that you write carefully and neatly in that spot where it says airway bill number or way bill number. Then in the body of this form, you'll see there are 2 blocks. In the first column, it says number of 71 tubes. That one. You have drawn 1 tube of blood and you've put it in this box. So you're going to write 1 in there. At $1 each, because that's what it costs, is equal to 1 times 1 is 1. Last I did maths, and that's quite a few years ago. So 1 tube at $1 is $1 US. Okay? The bottom, you have the date shipped, which is the date of your draw. You do the same on each one of your 3 pages, like that. Waybill number, 1, $1, and date shipped. On your 3rd form, waybill number, 1, $1, and date shipped. All right, so that's your 3 commercial invoices done. When you look at your little paper on the front, your second one is your export permit, and there's nothing written next to the export permit that you need to do because there is nothing for you to do. It is already pre-populated and filled out. You do not need to do anything on that form. The next forms are your declaration of biological shipments. Because this is blood that's being shipped, they need all sorts of proof, ticks and approvals that it's done. But again, everything has already been filled in and ticked. You need not do anything except fill in the waybill number, and on the back of this page, the date. So that's what it looks like. All right? The front page of your page looks like that. Just get it further away for you. The front page of your document looks like that, with all the ticks and balances in. You will write the very same waybill number in there. Turn the page over, and on the back side of it is the date that you need to fill in. And that is in triplicate again, so you will do it on all 3 pages. Please do not use carbon paper. It's not allowed. It must be in your own handwriting. And then the 3rd form is a form which is called FDA Prior Notice of Submission form, and this is also a form that they need only, and it's not highlighted unfortunately, but it's right up at the top where it says FedEx waybill number or AWB number and date of shipment. Those are the only 2 things you need to fill in. So again, it will be just the waybill number that number, and your date of shipment. Everything else has already been filled in, is already signed. So all you need to fill in on any of these documents is waybill numbers and dates. You will then take these forms, fold them nicely. Then you take your waybill, and on your waybill there's a date space again.